Good morning and welcome in. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it's Monday morning here, a very sunny, very warm Monday morning, so that must mean it's time to come on and do some crafting. I will apologise from the off if you can hear fans going in the background, but as I'm coming to you from my conservatory, and no such thing as air conditioning and things, you can imagine it's quite warm in here this morning, so I've got the fans going. I've got some water on hand. Hopefully that will keep us going during the course of this live. So it is lovely to welcome you. Do come on and say hello if you are joining me, and let me know what you're up to and if the sun is shining where you are. But for today, let's have a little look. I thought we'd have a bit of a play with the what's cooking. I think the answer to what's cooking this morning is probably me, but I don't feature in this stamp set or dies. This is one of the new, still relatively new stamp sets and dies that you can find in the annual catalogue. Another distinctive stamp, just as we were playing with. Yeah, I'll do my best to stay cool, Jackie. I've got fans going all over, so I do apologise if you can hear those, but it's the difference between me being upstanding and not, I think. So it's a distinctive stamp set, but this time it is a red rubber distinctive stamp set, and you've got these lovely set of dies to go with it. So you've got this really detailed embossing on this chopping board that I'm sure we'll have a look at in a minute, as well as the dies that cut out. So the whisk and this spatula are standalone die, the rest cut out images from the stamp set. So really cute. Morning, Megan. Right, so let's have a little look. So the sort of samples that we've got in here, you've got this one with all the little bits lying around. How lovely, Beryl. And Beryl's watching us from the garden. And here's one here where they've used this little row of hats in the background as a tone-on-tone sort of image, alongside that really gorgeous chopping board and those die-cut whisk and spatula. So that's really cute. And these I really love. So the other thing they've done is they've created these recipe cards and used that sort of image with the celery and mushroom and tomato going all around the outside. I think that's a really lovely idea. It'd make a great gift, wouldn't it? That's for a couple getting married or something. Hi, Debbie. Right, let's have a look then. Let's move me out of the way. This is me. This is where you can find me. I'm at Love-a-Duckie.co.uk. But let's have a look at this. Right, I did grab, thought, not much as usual, but a bit of a thought. And I did grab this paper just here, which is from the In Good Taste, the huge big In Good Taste pack. And of course this has got lots of sort of wood grain, tiley effects sort of things going on in it. So it's perfect for these sorts of kitchen type ideas. So I'm going to cut a bit of this so that it is 10 by 14.4. Now, if you look very carefully at this paper, I don't know if you can pick that up, it has got lines on it, so little squares of tiles, and I'm actually going to, we've been joined with a chorus of the dogs up the road. I'm going to actually try and accentuate some of those lines a little bit just by embossing them, and I'm not going to do, so whereas this is sort of every little square, I'm going to go every other way, every other one. I think they're in agreement with me that that's what I should do. So I've embossed the three going that way, and then I'll come this way and just emboss every other one. That one, so let's come to this one, and then we'll come to that one. So we can't see that ever so well. What I am going to do is take this is where I need another blending brush. I'm going to take my smoky slate. I'm going to take my blue brush as being the one nearest to what I want, I think. I'm going to come in around the edge. Thanks, Angie, for sharing. So as we're sweltering in heat just here, how are you ladies doing with your cold, wet, snowy weather? Now I'm going to take this and just go over a little bit where I have embossed those lines. And let's come downwards as well. 15. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, she says with great confidence, where's that gone? Aha! I'm going to take my white watercolour pencil and I'm going to come down these grooves. Let's give it a bit of grout. And this one. So tiling your kitchen in one easy and quick stages. If only it was that easy, eh? Across here. Across here. Across here, and last but not least, across there. So we've now got a little bit of sort of textured tiling going on in the background, and that might not show up ever so well on that camera. Now I've got a bit of Night of Navy just here. Let's just check that. We are right. Yep, 10.5 centimetres wide. So it's a piece of, half a piece of cardstock cut in half lengthways and then scored in half. So there we have our tiling on the background on that Night of Navy card. Okay, so let's have a little look now at what we are going to add to it. I'm going to take a strip of plum cake. I'm just cutting that about 1 centimetre. Sort of 3/8 of an inch sort of size. And let's cut it so that it's 10 centimetres wide. So we'll have a little bit of a hanging thing just there. And then we'll have a bit of a play with some of these dies. We'll add some of our utensils. Is it going to fit on there? I think it might just. Sorry, wobbling you. Stretching behind my fan to get my plates for my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And let's run this through. And look at the detail on that, sort of the wood grain. And it is actually embossed, you do get it. It is feely, it doesn't just look like that, it feels like that as well. And we'll have that hanging up here on our piece that's coming across. Let's bring in a spatula and a whisk. And a bit for these. Excuse me, it's rattling around in my oddments drawer. I'm going to grab a piece of smoky slate, I think. And we have our little whisk, isn't that cute? A little spatula. You could always add a bit of colour to the handle on that if you wanted to. In fact, possibly grab. We've got a Night of Navy background. Let's grab our Night of Navy. Stampin' Blend, and we'll just add some coloured handles to our utensils. I think I'm just going to leave that to one side for a minute. We'll also have a spoon. So with this, I'm going to grab the stamp. I have managed to get the stickers on the back of these. That's one job I did manage to do this morning. And I'm going to take a piece of crumb cake card and a bit of crumb cake ink. We'll make this a wooden spoon. Of course, it doesn't have to be wooden spoons. You can get spoons in all sorts of wonderful colours. I've just stamped that. You can see, because it's a distinctive stamp, you get that sort of shading on it. And then I think we'll do the same with a rolling pin. We've also got here a knife. What I might do with my knife is come back to, let's just see how this works, come back to some smoky slate. It's all experimenting. And I'm going to get some memento on this one. Let's give it a black handle. I'm going to ink up my knife. I actually smidged that slightly. I'm going to turn it over. It's a bit of a... So now we've got the detail, but we've got the grey for the idea of the steel knife. Obviously you can come in with any of these and add in a bit more colour with any of your colouring mediums. Let's come in with a bit of a watercolour pencil on there, just to make that handle a bit darker. Right, so we'll come back in and die cut those pieces. The bits we've already got to one side for a minute, and we want the rolling pin and the knife. Roll that through there. That moved slightly, but we've got a wooden spoon and we've got a rolling pin. And let's bring in a knife. Looks good, sharp knife. Right, let's pop these back on here. And these back in there for a minute. These hanging up there, those down there. And then I think we'll come in with the what's cooking. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? And Night of Navy ink, I think. Gonna fit on there, I think so. Oh, obviously got a very inky ink pad there. Didn't need to press quite so hard. There we go. And I think we're coming again with a smoky slate. On the edge of here. Just so it pops a little bit. Could have done with waiting for my blue ink to dry just slightly. I think I'll actually grab a little bit of Night of Navy and we'll stick that on some Night of Navy and make that pop a bit more. Right, okay, time to stick these bits and pieces together. Right, so let's bring in our tiled background. We added just that little bit more dimension to by embossing it and blending it and adding in our white watercolour pencil grout. Here we've got a little border to come across there. So let's add in these with a bit of dimensionals, I think. So this little one just here has got, you see it's got almost like a hole mark in it, if you see what I mean. Not a hole mark, a complete mark, but a mark where a hole would be to hang it. I'm actually going to take a pokey tool and put the hole in. And put a little bit off of there that's going to fit on there. To just grab some scissors because we've got some thin strips for these bits. to cut that in half, and then that can come on the back of there with just a smidgy bit. This is where the edge pieces of your dimensionals come in so useful. You can start carving them up nicely. To fit your project. Let's put that bit on there, like that. I'll come in with my black pencil and just give it the impression it's got something it's hanging to. Rolling pin. Actually, I'm going to take those sticky bits off of that rolling pin and put them on the back of the knife. And stick the rolling pin down flat, I think. So it's coming on a bit of an angle. And we'll have the knife just here. And then we've got our what's cooking. So let's have that stuck down directly. There we go. Obviously we've got a Night of Navy card front. So we're going to need a bit of an insert, so I'll just, ooh, I haven't quite cut that. It's still hanging on for dear life. Let's just put a strip of the tile paper across the bottom there. And then let's take the Sending You a Dash of Kindness and a Spoonful of Love. Again in our Night of Navy. Let's add that to the inside. And there we go. What's cooking? What I might do actually is I do still have some Night of Navy twine here from the Well Suited combo pack. I don't know if that's all gone or still available. But we could add a cheeky little bow of twine to that chopping board. There we go. It's a rather cute little card. let's have a little look at what else we could do. Let's clean these ones up. Put those back. That wasn't very well cleaned up, was it? That's because that blue was particularly well inked, wasn't it? That was the one that over stamped. Got a bit carried away with inking it up. Hi Glenda. So there's one little card with the what's cooking other than me. I do love these little, so we've got one stamp here that's got a little row of hats, and another stamp that's got a little row of veg. Nice salt and pepper. I think we might grab our stamparatus. And I think we might go. We might go square. Right, so that is 4.5 inches, so just about 11.5 centimetres. To bring my plate this way, and let's bring these in. Let's have a little look. How many of these we could get in? Not quite 3, so I think let's start in the middle. I've not tried it with the stamparatus, so I don't know how we're going to go. I'm going to start it with these in the middle-ish. Sticking to each other. That's new stamps with new stickiness on. Let's start just there. And I think I'm going to use smoky slate. I don't think I'm going to go as dark as black. Let's see if this works. We love living dangerously, don't we? So let's just ink those up with smoky slate and bring them down there. We're going to have to come across 2, so there is going to be a gap. No, not going to like that. So I think on this occasion we're going to abandon stamparatus, but not abandon the general idea. They're not quite spaced right to work in a stamparatus like that. So let's put them both on a block. Let's turn over. Oh, now we've got mucky marks on both sides. I'm sure we'll find a good use for that piece of card somewhere. Let's come back sort of 4.5, 11 centimetre-ish, 4.5 inches, 11 centimetre-ish, whichever way you want to go. Let's come back with our grey granite ink, and then this time we'll go by hand. And then let's bring in our salt and peppers. I think I think we'll transfer to soft suede and make it slightly darker than the crumb cake. Yeah, looks like that might want it inking up slightly. That looks better. Perhaps I just needed to press harder. Okay. Might actually, before I put that away, do one more of these. Let's use that bit of card that we started with. I'll perhaps die cut those in a minute. Okay, let's come in with a bit of colour on some of these. I think the hats will just come in and add in a bit of watercolour white, just so that it helps them to stand out a little bit. Coming along, our little row of hats. I have got classes booked in for using both the baby set that we used on Friday and this set. Let's have a bit of real red. Bit of old olive. Let's add some colour to our tomatoes. I'm just going to go dark around the edge and in the middle. And as I always say, if you're doing these at home, you're going to have more time to make these a little bit fancy than I will. Just come in with a little bit of yellow in the middle there. And these ones. And of course the shading underneath will sort of come through as extra shading underneath your colouring anyway. Add in a bit of yellow and green. With the mushrooms, I think I'm just going to come around the outside a little bit with some sort of maybe a very pale brown. I've got a bit of a grey going on here. Really need to add much colour to them. Just want them to pop off the background a little bit. And we've got some celery here. And we'll just come in with a bit of green, again sort of slightly dark around the outside. And just a light touch of colour on the inside. Just a brown here, particularly just here. I'm going to just add in a bit more. I might actually come in with these ones and decoupage those middle ones that didn't stamp quite so well. Okay, let's die cut these two. Yes, I think we'll pop those up on some dimensional to make those stand proud just there. Just having a look. I think some real red. Make a bit of real red card. So let us I've cut that so it is a 14.9 centimetre square card. So that's the biggest square card you can get out of a piece of A4. Obviously, if you are doing imperial, it would be a 5.5 inch square card. So you'd obviously then need to make your mats accordingly. I'm going to cut a 14.4 inch piece of white. I'm going to cut a 13.9 centimetre square. So this is just all the mats coming down in 0.5 centimetre increments. You want to do them in 1/4 inch if you were doing imperial. That needs a real red. No, actually, I'll go a bit more radical and make that black. I'm putting a 12 inch square black mat. Yes, like that. Make that pop on there. We'll have the sending you a dash of kindness and a spoonful of love. And we'll stamp that in black. Just going to trim that. And we'll stick that to a piece of real red in just a minute, because that needs a bit more colour just in that background. To lose those. on there. Let me just get my Simply Chamois and give that a wipe. Just trim that round. Let's stick that to that. I'm going to stick the paper to the mat. I'm just deciding about ribbons and twines and things, so I'm not going to stick this to the card base just yet until I've made that final decision. Let's take our little die cut pieces. Those are a little scraggy. Let's just trim those. Let's lift those up. One salt. One pepper. Let's come in with some black twine because we can. Right, going to stick this to this on a jaunty angle. Let's wrap some black twine around here a couple of times. And we'll have it so that we're tuck that under there, and we'll tie a bit of a bow just on this edge. Let's open those out a bit. And stick that on the front there. Make sure our card's opening the right way. And then let's that coming in there. We could add in a few little red rhinestones perhaps. In these gaps. There'll be another one just there, but we can't see it, so that's fine. So there we go. Sending you a dash of kindness and a spoonful of love. And then so that one is just using all those little stamps to create a little background, and then with this one we've had fun with the mainly the die cuts, but a little bit of stamping in there as well. So what's cooking? A couple of different cards there, a couple of different ideas to whet your taste buds for the What's Cooking bundle. So the What's Cooking stamp set and the, here they are, well here are most of them, the cooking dies. So that bundle is available right now in the annual catalogue. So do stock up your pantry. Okay, lovely to see you all, to be here. I'm going to go and lie down in a darkened room and cool down a bit now. And I look forward. Have a lovely day, everybody. Enjoy the sunshine if you've got it. And a lovely evening if you're the other side of the world from us. And I'll join you again very soon.